guys, another quick update here to show you what I'm doing in the 55-gallon tank. And this is exactly what I'm trying to avoid. You see what this guy's doing? This is my Cory catfish, and I've put in a ton of substrate. Let me just see if I can turn the light on in here so you guys can see the layers of substrate that I've added on. And they seem to dig through just like you saw. And there's a few Cory catfish in here and a couple plecos, and they stir it up and it gets up into the water, and I've been fighting to get them to stop, and I've been fighting to clean the water. And this is a home right now for my electric blue Jack Dempseys. Right now I have 4 of them. There was 5. One was small and kind of unhealthy, and he didn't make it from the beginning. He just lasted a week. These guys are growing like crazy. They're doing good, except one of the 4 is still a little bit slow. I'm worried that he won't make it, but he's doing pretty good now. That's probably the one here that's a little bit slower, but for the most part, these 4 guys are doing great. And the Cory catfish can't be any more happier than just to dig in the substrate. My plants, I've added CO2 injection into the tank, which is in the corner up in here, and that's doing really well for my plants. My Anubias nana that I got, you can see it sprouted a new leaf since I got it right here, and a couple more. It had a flower here as well. That's right there, and let me zoom in, and that flower is gone yellow. I have to cut that off. It's died off. This little guy in the back had only 2 leaves. Now he's up to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6. Maybe more coming, and 1 leaf just turned brown on me. So CO2 injection is definitely working. This little, I don't know if this is Anubias nana as well, but it looks like it. It's a small guy, and I have some pieces of it in here, some crypt in here. This is my swordtail. It was totally devastated. I ended up chopping the ends off. You guys saw that in my video. I showed you guys how I trim my plants. You can see new leaves coming out and replacing these chopped leaves slowly. There's a nice big leaf in the back. So that's that. Now to stop my Cory cat... Oh, before I get to that, let me add a little bit more about the plants here. I've added this moss. I got this little bunch for $3, this bunch for $3, this bunch for $3. It's a Japanese moss. Nobody really knows what it is. Comes in these nice little bunches, but it supposedly grows pretty quick. I don't know about that. I'm not having any luck with moss yet, so we'll see how it goes. I just bought 3 bunches. I can always get more. But that's what's going on there. That's it for the plants. Now, what I'm trying to do, you guys see this guy is just itching to dig into the dirt. And I'm trying to put in rock covers. A little bit of rocks, bigger rocks, smaller rocks, rocks on top of rocks, a little bit of hiding spots. The idea here is to get these electric blue Jack Dempseys to grow up and breed in this tank. I don't know if I'll get there because of how delicate these can be, and because of the water getting stirred up. I'm trying to get that under control. So that's what I'm working on in the meantime while they grow. And you guys would have seen these guys were like half the size or 1/3 the size when I first got them. But they're beautiful right now, and hopefully they'll stay that way as they grow. I absolutely love these guys, and I'm starting to build up rock covers for them. So the rocks may look a little clumsy right now, but I'm trying to build up some cave systems in here. So when this crypt grows up, hopefully, and same with um, this little Anubias nana petite or whatever it is. So once that starts taking hold, they'll still have some holes to get into, and there'll be a couple more sets of rocks here. I think in the middle is where I want my fish. What I want to do is give them some homes in the middle. They'll just kind of have their little houses. They shouldn't fight too much over this, and the plants will grow. Another reason for doing the rocks here and a few other places I have big rocks and other like driftwood decorations and things like that is I want to block the plants from growing out that way, or I want to block the plants from growing out this way. These things spread like wildfire in the right conditions. Even the crypts or the moss. The moss, I don't mind it growing out. Hopefully it'll go over top of the rocks. It would look really nice if it was just a mountain of plants and moss, but in the meantime underneath there would be a ton of cover and a ton of room for these guys or their babies to hide, right? That's what I'm after. That's the goal. This was an internal little air bubble filter. I'm not using the filter part. I think it's cool looking. I just kept it because it looks pretty cool. I don't know what I'll do with it in the future, but I think I'll still leave it there. It's kind of neat. I like it. So see my pleco's here as well, and he'll stir up just as much dirt when he really wants to. What else did I want to mention? I was thinking of adding some dwarf pike cichlids. I've seen some incredibly nice ones. I was thinking of adding some. I just ordered a bunch of really nice ones, but through my local pet store, I'm on their list. They're supposed to order them. I haven't heard anything yet. So, and I'm trying to keep everything as real as possible. The only fake decoration in here is the bell I have hanging from the top, and I have this little plastic filter container I use there. Not really much else. I'm providing some waves with my wave maker here for these plants and some CO2. I've gone through 2 little bullets of CO2 over the last month or so. So I'm not really putting in a lot, just enough to get these guys some CO2 in here. I have to keep an eye on the fact that I have fish in this tank as well. But hopefully you guys like the scape, the planted tank scape. That's where it's headed. That's where it's going. Now I do have these grassy plants in here as well. I try to trim them when they get to about this size, so that they don't really block out the light too much, because they will pile up at the top and block out the light, so this guy will have a hard time growing out. But I don't mind it dangling once in a while. It's kind of cool. And as I said, I'm still struggling with the water, but it's worth it. When you see your fish are happy, they have a natural home, and they love the grass, the plants, the moss. They enjoy all of that, especially the Anubias nana plant. These guys love it, simply because I keep my lights on quite a bit. I keep them on for about 12 hours a day, if I can, as much as possible, even more, I would say sometimes. So these guys have a huge ton of shade in here. They can go in there and sleep it off. They love this plant. and it's growing out on me. I have new leaves. I'm so psyched about the fact that it took in. I paid quite a bit of money for this plant, but it is absolutely gigantic, and I absolutely love the plant. It's supposed to be one of the most durable plants you can buy, which is the Anubias nana, and I would recommend, if you're looking to start with a plant for your tank, this is not a bad plant. It can grow under low light. It provides great cover, but you do need some soil substrate. In this case, I have some mud substrate. I have some actual pellet substrate underneath that. I have some gravel, and then I have a layer of salt sand from a salted tank I used to have. So that's how that looks, and then some gravel on the top and rocks right now. Now, eventually, when your plants get bigger and they start growing, what they will do is they'll spread, right? Like this plant had only 2 leaves, and it spread. It grew a nice vine. I don't know if you guys can see that. It spread to the other side in the back there, and then it spread from there to over here, I believe. It's growing brand new leaves. I think this is it right there, this plant right there. And this is just another one of it, but it's separate. It's not the same, but it's starting to pick up now. This plant was totally dead. So that's, you guys can see I absolutely love the plants. I absolutely love the fish enjoying the plants. And I hope you guys, if you ever decide to do it, just remember, it took me months to set up the tank and conditions so that I started off with my swordtail, my sword plant here. This was the one that actually took in root first. This is the one that started, showing signs that yes, I can live in your tank. Your water's good. You got enough nutrients for me. That's what really triggered it for me, and you guys can see it grew out into quite a forest for the fish, which is exactly what I wanted to do. I want these guys to swim around in there. And these guys were the second ones that took in. Although I lost a few of these, I never lost the sword plant. That one started doing pretty well from the beginning for me. Then I got these guys. I think it was Anubias nano, this guy here. And this thing, if you guys know the names, please correct me on the plants. But this guy, absolutely sturdy, 100%. And then I went on now to add this big Anubias nana with big leaves, and it's doing great. And now I've always dreamt of having moss everywhere. I'm trying to try this new moss. If anybody knows what it is, it's not Java fern or anything. It's it was specifically mentioned that it was a Japanese moss. I don't know what. See if I can one more time zoom in. If anyone knows what it is. It's really tiny, but it is really cool. I don't think it's any of the common ones, but I'm not sure. So that's it for the update, and hopefully you guys see how hard I'm trying to provide these guys a good home.